Hi Pisces and Pisces rising. This is your monthly forecast for October 2016. So the month of September, especially the first half, was a bit dicey. You know, there was a lot of planets in Virgo and 2 eclipses, and Mercury was retrograde in the sign. And for you, was in the house of significant partnerships and other people and close one-on-one interactions. So it could have been a bit of change of scene in that department of your life. But, you know, things have shifted in the meantime. Your ruling planet Jupiter moved into Libra. But it hasn't really had a chance to get settled there yet until now, because of the flux, you know, the change of seasons in September. So October inaugurates Jupiter in Libra in your 8th house very nicely with a new moon in the sign. So the sun, moon and Jupiter will align in your 8th house. So the 8th house for you, this is new projects around joint resources, financial investments, so around budgets, financial organization. It's, you know, in Jupiter and Libra is very sociable. It wants to balance the scales. It's all about fairness and equality. So productive financial arrangements. Jupiter will be in this placement for a whole year until October 2017, and it has traditionally been associated with legacies and inheritances. But, you know, although this isn't always the case, it definitely does show benefit from resources of other people, so other people's money. So it can be money coming in, and like I said, there is the possibility of an inheritance, but, you know, so very good for joint resource partnerships. So a good time to pool your money in with somebody else and make investments like that. So, you know, these are things that you can work with. And also Jupiter in the 8th can bring subtle benefits, you know, so there can be sweeping changes and benefits from other people, because people are more likely to assist you and be supportive at this time. And especially from January next year, some constructive aspects with Saturn will really help make the most of these sorts of arrangements. Okay, so let's look at what else is happening in your chart. So like I said, new beginnings on the 1st of October around financial investments, joint resources, you know, like I said, pooled resources and investments. So organizing financial affairs, very indicated, and so use the momentum to get things structured and in place. Venus is also going to be in your 9th house of travel, learning and adventure. You know, so there's the ability to profit from travel or from higher learning. So the first half of the month with Venus in the sign, it could be a good time to take a vacation before Venus moves into your 10th house, where it's going to focus more on career and enhancing your career professionally and attracting rewards and profit in that sphere of your life. But like I said, Venus in the 9th in the first part of the month until the 18th of October, good for taking a holiday, but also good for enjoyment around all things that have to do with the 9th house: travel, spirituality, learning and adventure, but in a relaxed, pleasurable way. Hence, like I said, a vacation could be a good idea, and profiting from traveling or education. So let's look at what else is happening this month. So on the 1st of October, besides the new moon, Venus is going to try Neptune from your 9th to your 1st house. These 2 planets together are very dreamy, imaginative, you know, it's creative and artistic. The 9th house is special places, special trips, special journeys, so very good for a special outing or something that involves creativity or artistry. So even if you just want to see a beautiful movie or go to a beautiful park or somewhere that you don't ordinarily go, it's good for that sort of energy, and, you know, good for connecting with people in general, so, and having a good time. So on the 4th, the Sun will sextile Saturn between your 8th and your 10th house. So this is very much about getting business affairs in order, setting goals, working with peers and authority figures. And that's something else that's very good about the new moon. It's the Sun and the Moon are sextiling Saturn, and on the 4th that aspect perfects. So often Jupiter is all about dreaming big and having big hopes and aspirations, but it doesn't necessarily come to fruition. But with the sextiles to Saturn, there's the ability to make plans around those things, those dreams and ideals, and make the most of opportunities. So like I said, the Sun sextile Saturn perfecting on the 4th, good for discipline and order and getting, you know, goal orientated. So getting things off the ground in a practical sense. So on the 5th of October, Venus sextiles Pluto and Mars squares Jupiter. So Mars is actually in your 7th house for the entire month of October, and in Capricorn, Mars is exalted and very strong indeed. So the 11th house has to do with hopes and dreams, and it's friends and groups that we associate with. So Mars in this sector of your chart, where it is every 2 years or so, is really working hard to achieve dreams and goals through friends and social connections. And in Capricorn can be very efficient. So, you know, you're wanting to get your personal dreams off the ground through social networks and groups that you associate with, or assistance from friends. So use these platforms to get yourself out there. And with Mars squaring Jupiter on the 5th, you know, this is going to give you a lot of energy and vima. So if you need to get out there and you've been postponing, then this is the time to do it. So very good for, you know, a lot of physical energy. So if you need to move and shake, then use this aspect for that, because Venus sextiling Pluto is also going to make people more amenable to you. You know, they're going to be more ingratiated by you. They're going to be more attracted to you. They're going to find you more, your proposals more interesting, and, you know, so they're more likely to be receptive to you. So good energy to utilize if you want to move and shake and network. So on the 7th of October, the Sun squares Pluto, and this can show some conflict with friends. You know, Pluto can bring simmering tensions to the surface. So if there have been things that have been bothering you on the back burner, you know, then this aspect can bring those things to light. So there can be a bit of clashing of horns and, like I said, a power struggle. So try and just be aware of this and use this energy constructively to shed light on where problems are. So on the 11th, Mercury is conjuncting Jupiter in your 8th house. So this is very good for finalizing financial arrangements, or, you know, investments and any kind of concerns around that matters. Generally speaking, it's good for business negotiations because Mercury is detail driven and Jupiter is the big picture. So you got a handle on everything at this time, especially because Mars on this day is also sextiling Neptune. You know, this makes Mars a lot less pushy and agitated. So it takes some of that excess energy off, which is a good thing for this aspect because it makes you more reflective and more likely to consider all points of view carefully and not so impatient. So use this energy around consolidating budgets, joint resource matters, and financial matters generally. And like I said, can be good for concluding business or business discussions. So the 13th and the 14th of October are a little bit more problematic. Mercury squares Mars and Mercury sextiles Saturn. So Mercury and Saturn together, you know, one can take a bit more of a gloomy and pessimistic view, and Mercury and Mars in hard aspect can make you more impatient, angry, irritable, you know, more likely to take your own point of view more seriously than somebody else's. So, and because you're taking a dim view of things, you know, you're not likely to, you know, come to a favorable assessment at the end of the day. You know, that gloomy pessimism doesn't lend itself well to anger and angry outbursts. So just bear in mind that you might be feeling a little bit more of a gum chum, and an angry one at that today. So the full moon is quite surprising and eventful. You know, the moon is conjuncting Uranus and the sun is opposing Uranus. And this is going to be in your financial houses. So unexpected surprises, you know, from other people. It could be money coming in or money coming out. The full moon has a tendency to bring things to a culmination point. So if something's been building up, maybe now you've had enough and you let something go in terms of a financial responsibility. Like you decide you no longer want to invest in that. But it could also be chance money coming in, or surprise encounters with other people that could be helpful or not. You never really can tell with Uranus. It's really things that are surprising, unexpected, but this can be for good or bad. So expect the unexpected. But remember, this won't necessarily affect your personal chart that strongly. So you might just be in a position to see this happening in the world around you. So the sun is moving into Scorpio on the 9th. On the 23rd of October, but wait, before that, Mars is conjuncting Pluto in your 11th house. So Mars and Pluto together pack quite a punch. You know, these two planets, you know, can really show a lot of incentive and initiative and energy, but also the potential for conflict because there is just that much physical energy involved. It's not in an angle in your chart, but so it could be very good for pursuing an 11th house matter. So like I said, launching something that you feel that corresponds to your long-term visions and that sort of thing. So those kinds of initiatives could be favored. But, because Mercury is opposing Uranus at this time, again, also expect the unexpected. You might be a little bit more accident prone too. Or just there could be a surprise encounter with a friend or some unsettling words. So, just today to be cautious, but like I said, you could use that energy very constructively. So, like I said, the sun is moving into Scorpio in your ninth house, and that will be where the new moon is on the 30th. So, the ninth house matters. That's travel, learning. It's how we expand our sphere of experience. So gain experiences from life. It's traveling, learning, teaching, publishing, spirituality. So that's the focus is on that house, which is taking things into the bigger perspective, from beyond the day-to-day towards where we really get meaning in life. So, a nice new moon coming up at the end of the month there. And so things that you want to be aware of is also on the 29th of October, the Venus is going to conjunct Saturn, and this will be in your 10th house. So Venus and Saturn can also go one of two ways. Venus is attractive, it's luxurious, it's artistic, it can generate money and income and love, and Saturn can constrict all of those things. So, you can find yourself in your professional life either cooling off with regards to someone else, or this could be some professional endeavor, or it could manifest in, conflicts with, if there have been conflicts in terms of the sphere of work, this could either make you cool off or bring you together. Venus and Saturn together is consolidating, so it can lead to long-term professional partnerships or interactions or projects. So if you've been blowing hot and cold, this could really bring it together too, where you decide this is where your lasting commitments lie. So a consolidating energy professionally like that. So like I said, the month ends with a new moon in Scorpio in your 9th house on the 30th, and there are sextiles to Neptune between the Sun, Moon and Mercury. So this lends itself to more light-hearted investigation, so where you're looking at your hopes and your dreams and your personal ambitions, but not in such a serious way. You're thinking outside of the box, you're thinking creatively. So it's good for just light banter and, more inspired communication. So taking it away from the more serious approach. And like I said, in a very optimistic sphere of your chart. So thank you for listening. And if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.